Okay, so we're looking at the next part of the algebra unit, which is called factorising, and we're factorising expression. So for instance, if I had 2 bracket x plus 6, we know we can expand out the brackets, and the answer would be 2x plus 12. Just 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 6 is 12. But if I have 2x plus 12 given to me, and I want to go back to the bracket 2 bracket x plus 6, to go backwards, we call that factorising. Okay, so expanding, you get rid of the brackets. Factorising, you get the brackets back in. So factorising is about getting brackets back. So copy that down if you need to, and move on to the next slide. So how do we factorise? Well, we need to look for the highest common factor, which is an abbreviation, it's called HCF, highest common factor. So if you look at this example, I've put a lot of steps in, but you don't have to show all the steps, obviously. So I've got an expression 4x plus 8, and I've put a note over here that we can't simplify that expression. We can't add 4x and 8 and make 12x because they're unlike terms. So in the first step, and again, just to be clear, I'm showing all the steps, but eventually you can take shortcuts and take out steps that you want to. So in the first step, I put down the factors of 4, which is 2 and 2, and there's an x, so I've got 2 times 2 times x is 4x. And then 8 has lots of factors, but the smallest ones are 2 by 2 by 2. It could be 4 by 2, but for the time being, let's just call it 2 by 2 by 2. Okay, and then in the next line, which again you won't show when you get used to it, you circle anything that's the same in both. So 2, I circle the 2, I circle another 2 because there's 2 2's over there. So there's 2 2's on the first and there's 2 2's on the second, but I can't circle the x because there's no x on the second term, and I can't circle this third 2 because there's not 3 2's on the first. And the last step, whatever is circled goes out the front. So there's 2 2's, so 2 2's come out the front, and then whatever's not circled goes in a bracket. And then if you can simplify, so 2 2's are 4, so the answer is 4 bracket x plus 2. Okay, you could check your answer. If you expand out, you'll get 4x plus 8 back, so you know that you got the right answer. So sometimes the common mistake is you only circle 1 2 and you forget, and the other 2 you forget about. But that's partial factorising, that's not complete factorising. So could you just copy out as much of that as you want to, and then when you're ready, come to the next slide. So example 2, I've got a little bit more algebra. So I've got 2x squared plus 6xy, and in the first step all I've done is I've just written out the factors. So there is the 2x squared, and on the second one there I've got my 6xy. Just make sure you can see where those numbers are coming from. And what I want you to do is pause the tape. I want you to circle the common terms, and that's all I want you to do. So just circle the common terms and then pause. Okay, so all I've asked you to do is circle. So there's a 2 circled, and I'm circling an x. Okay, so that's all that's common, 2x. There's no x in the first that's in the second, and there's no 3y in the second that's in the first, so we stop. So we've circled the common terms. Now we take the common term, 2x, we open the bracket, and we'll leave the bracket is what's left behind. So x plus 3y. We close, and that's the answer. Copy that down, and when you're ready, come to the next tape. Okay, so I want you to try this one for yourself. Pause. I want you to write out the factors. I want you to circle the common factor and then finish it off. But pause and have a go yourself. Okay, so you might have written down 2 times 2 times m times n minus 2 times 2 times 2 times n. So they're all the factors. You don't have to do it this way, but this is how I'm showing it at this stage. So there's a 2, another 2, another 2. There's no more numbers in the first, so I can't circle anything else, but I can circle the letter n. Okay, and so your final answer, I'll just make that 2 times 2 is 4n bracket m minus 2. And that's your answer. Copy that down, and when you're ready, come to the next slide. Okay, so there's 2 more pages. What happens if you have more than 2 terms? So if you've got 3 terms or 4 terms or whatever, so the highest common factor must be in all of the terms, not just some of them. So I've got a complicated one. I've got 4a squared b minus 6a minus 8b. Now don't forget, you can't add them because they're unlike terms, but we're looking to factorise. So in the blue line, I have written down all the factors of the terms. So that's the 4a squared b, that's the minus 6a, and that's the minus 8b. What I want you to do is write that down. I want you to circle like terms, highest common factor that is in all of the terms, but don't go any further than that. So pause, circle a term that appears in all of them, and then stop, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, hopefully you've had a go. So there's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 2. But in the next one, that 2 there, even though it appears in the third term, I don't have any more 2's in the second term, so I can't circle anything more. And if you look across, I've got A's in the first and second, but I don't have any A's in the third. I've got B's in the first and the third, but I don't have any B's in the second. So that's all we can do. So the answer is just 2 bracket, and then we put everything back together. So 2a squared b minus 3a minus 4b. And that's my B tier. And that's the answer. Okay, copy that down, and when you're ready, we're on nearly on our last slide. So what happens when one of the terms seems to disappear? Now it doesn't actually disappear, but I'm using that expression. So in 4a squared minus 4a, I've written out my factors. I want you to pause. I want you to copy it down. I want you to pause, circle the factors, and then wait. Okay, so when you circle the factors, 2, 2, 2, 2, A. Now what happens is, in one of the terms you've circled all of the factors, but you have to leave something behind, and so what we do is we just add a 1, because 1 doesn't change it. And then so the final answer is 2 times 2 is 4a bracket a minus 1. If you don't leave a 1 behind, if you just had 4a bracket a and you had nothing left, you get 4a squared, but the question doesn't match, so that means that's wrong, so you have to leave a 1 behind. Okay, so that's one of the other tricks, and there's an exercise to do, and that's basically the lesson. So thanks for coming.